Hey friends, good to be here back in the studio again. As always, thank you, Grace, George, and Laura for keeping the space around so long. Always an honor and privilege to be here, and thank all of you for being a part of it as well, keeping the studio around for as long as it has, and hopefully it's around for a lot longer. Going to do a few videos today. The first one's going to be on breathing and the importance of breathing and integrating breathing into our practice. I'm going to label it the nose is for breathing and the mouth is for eating. When I first started practicing years ago, I noticed that I had trouble breathing through my nose, but as I did it more, it started to transform my life in a lot of ways. I started to feel improvements in the form of less anxiety, less frustration, less anger, more balance, and I noticed relationships started to improve as well because I was bringing my awareness back to my breathing as often as I could. I did that for a while, and again, it was very transformative. A lot of good things started to happen when I started focusing on my breathing as often as I could. And then I started reading in all these different books and publications. They were all saying the same thing. So just by coming to a practice, I realized internally there was something transformative that was happening. And then I was reinforced by books like this, like Eckhart Tolle. I'll share some of what he says about the breath as I do this video, and then we'll go through a few techniques. Again, I want to keep it as short and sweet as possible. So he starts out with, someone recently showed me an annual prospectus of a large spiritual organization. When I looked through it, I was impressed by the wide choices and interesting seminars and workshops. It reminded me of a smorgasbord, one of those buffets, where you could take your pick of a huge variety of dishes. The person asked me whether or not they could recommend one or two courses to me. I said, I don't know. They all look interesting, but I do know this, he said. Whenever you remember, and as often as you remember, do this for a year. Breathe. Bring your awareness back to your breathing. And that will be more powerful and transformative than attending all of those classes and all of those courses. And the best part, it's free. I did that, and it was powerful. And I did the most simplest pranayama technique, the simplest breathing technique that yoga came up with thousands of years ago. Inhaling and exhaling, focusing on inhaling and exhaling, lengthening the inhales and the exhales, noticing the pauses between the inhales and exhales. So inhaling, pause, exhaling, pause, inhaling, 1, 2, 3, chest expands. Exhaling, 3, 2, 1, chest contracts. It's really simple. And then incorporating that in anything that you do, regardless of how mundane it is. Washing the dishes, sweeping the floor, walking your dog, taking a walk with your family. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Waking up in the morning, sitting there for 2 minutes in your bed and just focusing on breathing. Before you fall asleep, it's helpful to help you fall asleep if you have trouble falling asleep. Just focusing on your breathing, probably put you to sleep in a few minutes. Be aware of your breathing. Notice the sensation of your breath. Feel the air moving in and out of your body. Notice how the chest and abdomen expand and contract slightly with the in and out breath. One conscious breath is enough to make some space where there was no space before. One conscious breath, 2 or 3 would be even better. Taken as many times as a day, it's an excellent way to bring space into your life, even if you meditated on your breath for 2 hours or more, which some people do. One breath is all you ever need to be aware of. Indeed, ever be aware of it. The rest is memory or anticipation, which is to say thought. Breathing isn't really something that you do, but something that you witness as it happens. Breathing happens by itself. The intelligence within the body is doing it. All you have to do is watch it happen. There's no strain or effort involved unless you're doing specific pranayama practices, unless you're focusing on inhaling and exhaling, which again can be just as transformative what he's explaining. But he's just simply saying, hey, just notice your breathing. That can be super powerful. So many people's breath is unnaturally shallow. I know mine was, and that probably led to a lot of anxiety. The more you're aware of the breathing, the more its natural depth will reestablish itself. And it does. And it is powerful. So come back to it as often as you can. Incorporate it again into anything that you do. as often as you can, and you'll notice a difference. And like he said, it will be more powerful and transformative than reading any self-help book you could ever read, going to as many seminars or workshops as you want. And it's free. And right now, you can practice it at home for as long as you want. Being aware of your breath forces you into the present moment. And that's the only thing that really matters. That's the present moment. We really have no control over the future right now. As you can see, we're kind of held at like this place with everything that's going on where we're like, God, I just want to know what's going to happen. We don't have any control over it, friends. The best thing we can do is stay present right now. And again, coming back to your breath is going to help us with the anxiety and the frustration that we're going through. Being aware of your breath forces you into the present moment. The key to all inner transformation. Whenever you're conscious of the breath, you're absolutely present. You may also notice that you cannot think and be aware of your breathing. Conscious breathing stops your mind, but far from being in a trance or half asleep, you're fully awake, highly alert. You're not falling below thinking, but rising above it. And if you look closely, you will find that those two things, coming fully into the present moment and ceasing thinking about loss of consciousness, are actually one and the same. Arising above space consciousness creates more awareness, creates more consciousness, and it's simple. It's just breathing. Let's do a little bit. Here's a few different techniques. Some of you may have, your set of mala beads. You can do half in the morning, half at night, or you can do it all at once. You hold them, take an inhale, an exhale, move to the next bead. So this gives your mind something to do as you hold the beads, and you're breathing consciously, so your mind doesn't have anything to do, like he's saying, so it clears your mind out. You don't have beads? Here's one that Roy Eugene Davis talked about years ago that I remember. Your hand. See all the little spots on it? You got all those spots. Inhale, exhale, there's one. Inhale, exhale, there's two. Inhale, exhale, there's three. Inhale, exhale, there's four. And you go through these spots. Again, it gives your body something to do, and your mind it's clearing out because you're doing something physically. Some people have a hard time, I know I do sometimes, just sitting and breathing. At first, I want to move around. I'd be like, I just don't want to sit here. So these simple techniques, having some beads or moving through my fingertips and inhaling and exhaling, gave me something to do. And then slowly I could let go of those, but if I needed to, I could always come back to them. You can use 2-word mantras. Any 2 words that you come up with. Inhale, receive some positivity. Exhale, let go of some negativity. You can think of 2 words in your mind. For a long time I would inhale, visualize the word receive. Then I would exhale and visualize the word in my third eye in my mind of let go. You can use any 2 words that you'd like. You can think of 2 colors. You can inhale the warmth of the color orange or picture a sunrise. And then exhale a cooling color like blue and maybe picture the sun going down or the moon out in the dark sky. These are some simple techniques. There's some, I am, inhaling I, exhaling am, and just visualizing that. That's a 2-word mantra, like so, inhale so, exhale hum. There's another one. Inhale hung, exhale saw. Those are 2 Sanskrit mantras that basically just mean I am this, I am that, So it's just giving you kind of a mantra. You can use positive affirmations as you inhale and exhale, reciting those. So kind of retuning yourself. You can imagine if you went through 108 of these and you did a mantra with each breath or a positive affirmation with each breath, by the time you're done with it, you'd probably feel pretty satisfied. Incorporating your breathing into the movements is what we're going to get into next with the following videos. So you would be like, inhale and exhale. So putting more emphasis into the breathing. Inhale and exhale. You get the point. As we go through these other practices, I'm going to keep bringing emphasis to the breathing like I always do So you incorporate more of the breathing than just the movements. So putting more presence into breathing than just the movements. I like to think of it as, 70, 80, 90% of my awareness is in my breath as I go through my physical practices, my exercises, or whatever it is, and leaving the remaining 30, 20, 10% for the physical practice or exercise or whatever the activity is. It creates enough awareness to where you're conscious and careful of whatever you're doing, like me working with my buddies with the windows or working on the Jeep. I'm still present and it makes me careful, but I'm incorporating that breath to enjoy the moment and not get frustrated with whatever it is. You'll see how powerful it is in your life too. Okay, hope you enjoy the rest of the videos, friends. See you soon.